Hello and welcome to Wellness with Lasya. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Wellness vlog. Now, here's a good story. Some of you who may have watched one of the previous videos that I did in the garden may remember this tree, the banana tree. If you noticed, it had a huge bunch of bananas hanging on the tree, right? Now, during January, towards the end, we had some good weather and the bananas ripened almost overnight. We had a banana party with the sweetest bananas ever. I got to share the booty with my family, friends, and neighbors. Couldn't ask for more. Of course, I do have a bunch of papayas up there as well. Keep coming in. That's the goodie. Then there's the not so good happening during this time. To begin with, I had conjunctivitis. That's the eye infection, and I had to be very careful not to pass it on to others. That's not something you want to share, right? And the other thing was Lasya developing, to begin with, she had a lot of cough going on for quite a while and it just kept worsening. And a very recent health check at the clinic brought out a heart murmur. Not something that you want to know about, right? But she's aging, so this is something to be expected as well, right? Pema, on the other hand, has been doing fantastically well, as a matter of fact. So she's been on holistic healthcare with homeopathy for her stomach ailment. And wonder of wonders, her vets are surprised at how well she's recovered. Couldn't ask for better again. For today's post, I want to focus on communicable diseases and the importance of hygiene, in particular hand hygiene. As children, we were always taught to wash our hands with soap every time, all the time, especially before you eat your food. Definitely for self-hygiene, a lot of times when you're playing in the dirt, stuff like that as well, right? As kids, nobody wants to listen to these things. As children, you really don't want to do any of that. But it's very important, and as a matter of fact, we as adults tend to lose sight of what we're teaching to our children, so especially in today's world where you have so many epidemics and pandemics all over the place. It's very, very important, imperative as a matter of fact, to maintain hygiene, especially hand hygiene. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Some of the commonly known viral infections like measles, gastroenteritis, influenza, and others as well, are known to spread through body fluids. Those could be from the nose, from sneezing, blowing your nose, coughing from the mouth, or even mucus from the eyes. And hygiene is what comes in over here. This is also one of the reasons why patients are put in bed rest, of course, for recuperation, but also to keep them separate or isolated from other people within the family or outside, so you do not spread the viral infections. This is where hygiene is a very important part of the protocol for the caring of the patient, if it's for yourself or for someone else, your family members, even a child or a pet. Using a soap bar for hand washing at home is okay if it is for a single person use or a small family. Not advisable in a large family setup. Definitely not to be shared with a guest or any outsiders. This is, of course, part of basic hygiene. I mean, you do not share your toothbrush with anyone else, right? You do not share your comb with anyone else, your comb or hairbrush with anyone else. So why should you be sharing your soap? If it's your bath soap or for hand wash, it's just easier to use a liquid hand wash in a dispenser, which ensures that the liquid soap inside the dispenser does not get contaminated. Either ways, for a hand wash, a minimum of 20 to 25 seconds of hand rub will ensure that any germs or viruses which cling to your hands will get scrubbed off at the very basic level there, right? When to wash hands? Immediately after using the bathroom, of course. Also, when you're sneezing, coughing, or blowing your nose, try to use a tissue paper for those purposes, which can, of course, catch any droplets, and that can be safely disposed of into the dustbin. Still, washing hands after this is definitely good. The other times you need to wash hands really also before cooking. Definitely when you're washing vegetables, rice, or meat. If you're cooking, handling meat, whether it's fresh or frozen, please wash your hands before and after the process. Also important to wash hands after you wash dirty dishes. Yeah, you may be using soap, of course, for washing the dishes. Still, it is important to wash again with a liquid soap, preferably after you've washed the dishes. Cleaning and disinfecting surfaces, work surfaces, is very important, and it depends on how frequently you use them. For example, in the kitchen, every time before and after cooking, especially when you're handling meat in these places, or a changing table for a baby, or a pet grooming table. These should be cleaned every time you use, before and after, both times as a matter of fact. In public places, you can use liquid soap, liquid hand wash soap, if it is available, with water, of course. If that option is not available, then for a hand scrub or hand sanitizer, 3M Avogard is absolutely the best product. This is also used in the hospitals by healthcare personnel, as a matter of fact. 3M Avogard is one of the medical products. It kills 99.9% of germs and viruses. It is alcohol based, but it's pretty okay for the skin as well. Before using a hand sanitizer or hand rub, of course, you must ensure that the hands are not dirty. If your hands are dirty, then it's only soap and water that needs to be used. As a matter of fact, it's really become a trend for people to use a hand sanitizer while traveling around, or even, you know, in any kind of gathering as well, which is really not proper. It has a good use only when required. Otherwise, soap and water do the trick. There's another category that I would really like to talk about, that's called hospital acquired infection. There is something called HAI. Okay. So what happens here? I think quite a few of us may have experience, when we visit somebody in the hospital, or if we are caregivers for our family member in the hospital and we come home having acquired certain infection. I've had that happen to me. My father got that as well, So these are also times when you really need to take care of hand hygiene. Very, very important here as well. Something else that I really also want to touch upon here for hygiene, one of my favorites, natural products that we get from nature. Things like neem, very, very important here. This plant or tree gives everything that we need: antimicrobial, antiseptic. Nothing really to beat this in the nature here. So the leaves, the little stems, or the bigger stems as well, the bark of the tree trunk, the roots, even the seeds, every part of the tree is very useful for killing infections and maintaining excellent hygiene, not just for hands, for everything really. Other than neem, you have turmeric, ginger, garlic, honey, and so many other natural products as well. I'm just going to list them on the side here. When there is when there is an infection going around, or any sort of illness going around as well, it's very important to build up your immune system. So again, this is where these natural products really come in. Use them, even tulsi, right? So use these in the proper way. Besides it, up your supplement intake. Very, very important too. So before I leave you with a lot of this material to think about and to implement in your home hygiene, your personal hygiene, and especially if you have children, for them as well, tell me what you think about this. Drop a line below in the comments for me. Thank you so much for having stayed with me on this video. If you have subscribed, then thank you very much for joining me here. If you're new to the channel, then please do hit the red button below this video to subscribe, and the bell icon next to it. That will give you notification as soon as I publish a new video. If you liked this video, then please give it a thumbs up as well. Thank you so much for being with me again. Bye for now.